There are so many great comic books out there that you may not even know about. Many of them aren't even going to be on the shelves of your local comic book store. So how do you find them? How do you discover them? Never fear, I actually did the legwork. I went out, I met with some creators, and I'm gonna let them talk to you about their awesome comics. Greetings everyone, welcome to the underground lair where we bring our creations to life. I'm Scott with Serkworks Art Labs. I'm a professional illustrator, designer, and mad creator. I also create comics, indie comics specifically. That's one of the things I really love, and that's one of the things we're going to feature on today's show are just some great indie comics that you may not have heard about. I hadn't heard about them before a couple weeks ago, but I am going to try to get the word out as best I can. And I mean, some of them I've read, some of them I just flipped through, but the ones that I haven't read yet, I am so anxious to read them because they look great, and I just want to, like I said, I want to get the word out. So I'm going to let those creators talk about their books. But before we do that, like I said, I'm an independent comic creator too, so why don't I give a little pitch about my book, and then I'll let these guys pitch theirs. So I have a comic book called Young and the Dead. It is kids versus zombie adventure story. If you like Goonies, Monster Squad, Stranger Things is huge right now. I still haven't got a chance to, as I'm recording this, I haven't got a chance to watch the new season, but I am so looking forward to it because I love that kind of stuff. And if you like that, then you'll probably like Young and the Dead. I'm going to be launching a Kickstarter for issue 5 plus all the previous issues. There'll be tons of variant covers, all that stuff. That's going to be be on the lookout for that. That'll be in July that I'm going to launch that. If everything goes all right. That's the plan anyway. Kids versus zombies, and if you're into that, 80s nostalgia, all that kind of stuff, kid adventures, then you'll probably like this book. So that's my book. Now, I went to Phoenix Fan Fusion a couple weekends ago, or the previous weekend, and I had a great time there. I did a recap of that on my last video, and I mentioned that I was going to have some of these creators that I picked up these books. This is my haul right here. These are just some of the books that I picked out. These are all independent comics. This isn't Marvel. This isn't DC. IDW, Boom, whatever. I mean, these are all indie comics from independent comic creators, and I am going to allow them to pitch some of their stuff. However, there were a few books here that I didn't get a chance to get interviews with the people or have them kind of talk about their books, so I just want to show a few of these off. This is one, I don't know what happened, but Big Blue Comics, and it looks like it's bigbluecomics.com if you want to check out their stuff. I went back looking for their table because I wanted them to talk about their books, and it's a small publishing company. I picked up this one. It's The Resistance. There's 4 issues here, but they had other titles. There's one called Hyper Action. I think they had like 2 or 3 different titles, and it's all great stuff, full color. I mean, this is I mean, it's really top-notch stuff, and I was totally sold on what they were doing, and I probably should have bought some of their other titles, but that's something I can go back and pick up, and maybe hopefully I'll see them at another show. But I was just picking up tons of stuff, so I wanted to get a little bit of everything. But that's one, this just looks like I had never heard of this publisher before, but like I said, it's not just one title. They had 2 or 3 different titles. So definitely check them out at bigbluecomics.com. That's one that I wanted to talk about that I didn't get an interview for. The other one was, this one was kind of interesting. Now this one is definitely kind of has some explicit content, but it's basically, what it is this character Calico, and he is a big animal rights activist to the point where if you abuse animals, he's going to come after you with extreme justice. So yeah, pretty violent stuff, and it's pretty out there. But and I think some of the proceeds go towards helping animals and everything, which I'm a big animal lover. And even though this guy, I don't know if I condone taking stuff to this extreme. It's kind of a fun, interesting read. The other thing that I thought was really interesting, and you can find their stuff at sigmacomics.com, but this I don't know if you can see this logo. They got this logo from, it used to be, if you're familiar with old comics from the Bronze Age and maybe even before that, it was a mail-away company where you ordered comics, and I guess they're no longer a business, but whoever owned that company before gave them the rights to use that as their characters. So I just totally recognized, as soon as I saw this book, I'm like, oh, I know that. what's this all about? I didn't get a chance for the creator to give me an interview, but yeah, definitely might be something you want to check out if you're an animal lover and you want to see extreme justice bestowed upon people who abuse animals. Definitely check that out. Another one I talked about, and I tried to get an interview with this guy. He's a friend of mine, actually, and two people actually. Ryan Quackenbush, who is the illustrator. If you're a fan of, he's very much inspired. If you're familiar with the art of Bill Sienkiewicz, very much inspired by him. But he's got his own he's definitely got his own style as well. Great illustrator. I've known him for a while. He's kind of camera shy, so he didn't really want to do an interview. But so I'm going to pitch it for you. This is Vicky the Wonderful. I'm sure if you just Google that. Also, it's written by Dave Baker, who we've had on the Artcasters. Really prolific writer. He's written tons of stuff, and I didn't know that they worked together. And I talked to some other creators that had worked with Dave as well. And I think he's from Arizona. He doesn't live in Arizona now, but so he had some big connections to Phoenix Fan Fusion and some of the other creators there. But definitely check out this. It is basically, I think it's not autobiographical, but semi-historical fiction about the creation of Barbie, but it's Vicky, and definitely want to check that out. Okay, the last one I didn't get a chance to do an interview with is Jay Gonzo, who has this book. It is, let's see, I struggle with my Spanish, but La Mano del Destino, and again, Jay Gonzo. This is a comic book that I've been collecting for a while. I've actually interviewed him before on a previous one of these episodes where I did a recap. But this is one of the most beautiful. It's very limited palette. All his covers kind of have the same kind of color scheme, but it is just one of the best design books I think I've ever seen. And there were 2 issues that I didn't have. I think it goes up to issue 6, and my understanding that he is working on the follow-up to this. And he said he's going to introduce a couple more colors to his palette. Hopefully he doesn't go too crazy, because I just love the design of this book, and it is just a great read. So definitely check this out. Really visually one of my favorite comics books that I own. I mean, it's beautiful. So with that, those are the creators that I didn't get a chance to get interviews with. So, but yeah, I've got a bunch of other books here, and I did get a chance to talk to the creators of these books, and I'm going to let them tell you what their book is all about, and hopefully where to find it. If they didn't mention where to find it, if I can, I will try to find out where to find it and either put a link in the description or just show you the URL up on the screen, depending on how lazy I am. Hopefully one of those, so you can find these awesome books, because after you hear the pitch, I think there's a lot of these that you're going to probably be interested in, just like me. They sold me on it. Hopefully they'll sell you on it. But before we get to that, there's another independent that wasn't, at one point it wasn't really an independent company. It was one of the bigger companies, but Gold Key Comics, these guys right here, they had a presence at Phoenix Fan Fusion. We've had them on the Artcasters before. They are starting back up the classic company, Gold Key Comics, bringing back Boris Karloff Presents. And they've some other stuff down the road. They shared some of those things with me, which I'm not allowed to divulge, but I can just tell you there's going to be some really cool stuff coming from Gold Key Comics, and I was so excited when I heard the news. And because they were a company that was really big, especially in the 60s, I mean, they went through, I think the 60s through the 80s, early 80s, but in the 60s kind of, I think, was their heyday, and that's what most people know them from, as well as their painted cover, and they're just really cool, awesome design covers that they did. They're bringing back that whole style and everything in their booth, which you'll get to see because I'll show you, but it had that whole 60s vibe, the old 60s television set, and just everything. It was so cool, and I just can't wait to see what, other than the Boris Karloff Presents that they're going to be coming out with, some of the other books. So we're gonna go right into that. I'm gonna take you to the show floor of Phoenix Fan Fusion. We're gonna go and we're gonna talk to Gold Key Comics and these other great comic creators. So let's go. So I'm here with Lance from Gold Key Comics, and we're just gonna take a look around the booth. It's very retro 60s era, just like Gold Key.
You can even turn the TV on for you.
Oh, you got it. Oh, they're gonna turn the TV on. All right, here we go. And we'll talk about some of this stuff we got going on here. But do we have something on the TV? Let's see.
Well, the old ones, they take a good 30 seconds to let the snow come through.
Right.
We were trying to get some old videos out, but we had the wrong adapter for it. So
we got that classic static.
This has been our star.
It's so cool. It's so cool.
I gotta zoom back around so I get the whole thing in there. All right, so you got the license for Boris Karloff Presents.
Yeah, we officially have the license for Boris Karloff Gold Key Mysteries to use Boris' likeness, so we will be putting out an anthology series with him. We're still fishing after some of the old titles as well, and then we have new series that we're working on putting out right now that are being drawn and written by what we think are pretty amazing writers and artists. So we're just here saying what's up to people, introducing for the first time to a lot of the younger people. Had a lot of the older people coming back going, oh my God, I remember Gold Keys.
Yeah.
So we made some stickers for people, got some prints, got some t-shirts.
Yeah, I got this shirt right here. So is this based on anything? This drawing? Or
It
is
was just a fun
kind of retro.
design,
Yeah. So I picked up that shirt, and I mean, I'm really excited now that I get to kind of see what's going on with the covers and everything.
This is a homage to Thriller 1, which I think was like one of Boris's first cover appearances.
Yeah.
This is one that our buddy Arnold did, just kind of a throwback. We commissioned this one from a guy named Dane, and then this one has the monster was the best friend I ever had kind of quote on it. So yeah, just some fun stuff like to throw out, share with people what we're doing. So yeah.
All right. Thanks, Lance.
All right. Thank you.
With Ed from Finish Line Comics, and he has the Immortal Era. So what's your comic about, Ed?
My comic is about a post-apocalyptic world 200 years in the future, in a world where no one can die. So everyone in this world is immortal, but nobody gains any kind of special abilities or powers. They can still age, they still get sick. One of my main characters is just a decapitated head. So it focuses on a group of 5 people. They live underground in an abandoned subway. This is where the outcasts of the society are all forced to live. They're out looking for relics from the past so they can discover exactly how everyone became immortal to begin with, because their ultimate goal is to restore the natural life cycle back into the world and save humanity by killing them.
Awesome, Ed. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
With Chris, and he is the writer, creator of Badass Girl. You want to tell everyone what Badass Girl is about?
Hello, Badass Girl Army. Chris Everhart, writer and creator of Badass Girl. She is a kick-ass girl in a post-apocalypse world. She was orphaned in the aftermath of the alien invasion that wiped out the Earth and most of humanity, and raised in the forest by a mysterious Chinese woman who turned her into a weapon for justice. And now with no home, no family, and no friends, she walks the earth kicking ass on bad people who prey on the innocent.
Awesome. Thanks, Chris.
You bet.
I'm here with Chris from Inland Blue Comics, and Chris, why don't you talk about some of the stuff that you guys publish?
We actually have quite a few titles now. We started with Grace. Grace was our flagship. Basically, it's our soul collector type story. A young woman who is killed and has to stay alive. She has to go out and collect the souls of evil people. We also have some kids titles. We have a new book that is kind of our fun action adventure horror comedy book, which is
the
about
concept behind that one. So
yeah. So it's basically the apocalypse, and but it's every apocalypse happening at the same time. So you have vampires and zombies, and kaiju and aliens, packs of wild Pomeranians, everything you can think of. It's kind of our send up of the end of the world story. And then our final title is Legba's Juke Joint.
That's the one I picked up.
And this is kind of an interesting, unique concept where we're playing with the go down to the crossroads, sell your soul legend, basically Robert Johnson's myth. And we're doing a 9-book series where each book is a different character in a different decade, making their deal from the 30s on up to present day. But the coolest part of this is each book, the artwork style changes to imitate the art from the decade in which it's set, and each book has an album of original music by the character. So that way when you get to pages like this, you pop on the track, and now you have this immersive experience that underscores what's happening in the book.
Very cool. Thank Thanks, Chris. I appreciate it. Hey everyone, I'm here with Rodney and he's doing some cool stuff. I just want to showcase some of the cool artwork that he's doing, but you know, I'm all interested in indie comics, so he has his own independent comic title. So Rodney, what is Trinity Blade all about?
So Trinity Blade is the story of a young warrior named Tal on his journey of self-discovery while battling a great evil that is about to overcome his land. It's tons of action, adventure, swashbuckling. So if you're into fantasy, definitely check me out.
And in full color, and you can tell Rodney really knows how to handle color because he's got just some beautiful prints and things here. So thanks, Rodney. I really appreciate it.
Oh, no problem. Appreciate it.
Christopher with Thesaurus. Christopher, what's your book all about?
It's basically kind of a cross between Jurassic Park and Gladiator. So the first one anyway, the one you got.
Yeah.
And then the second one's more of a steampunk western.
These are the two books here. They look great.
Yeah, thanks.
All right, thanks, Christopher.
Yep.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Hey everyone, I'm here with Eric Henson. He is the writer, creator, artist of Eden. Eric, you want to talk a little bit about what Eden's all about?
Absolutely. It's about what comics should be, good stories.
Yeah.
It's about a futuristic warrior who has to travel to strange alien worlds trying to find her missing son. Along the way, she has to battle all these aliens and monsters and find out more about herself than she ever knew, about who she is and what she is, and discover the mystery of why the aliens wanted her son in the first place. So it's a great story about paternal love, about redemption, about finding out who you are, and most importantly, about destroying monsters and aliens.
And the artwork and the story are brilliant. I love it. So one of my favorites. Thanks, Eric. Hey everyone, I'm here with Keith Foster, writer of Kadoja. What's Kadoja all about, Keith?
Yeah, so Kadoja is giant monsters meet H.P. Lovecraft. So you have a giant monster. It is a rogue super weapon named Kadoja. The weapon too powerful for the government. They shut it down 3 years ago because it was just doing too well in tests, and this morning it woke up. Nobody knows why. And then after it's rampaging on the loose and the people that designed it have to figure out how to stop it, an actual giant monster comes up out of the ground. And Kadoja hunts that giant monster, which leads to a big old confrontation at the end of Volume 1.
Awesome. And how many volumes do you have?
It's up to 3 right
Up to
now.
3.
We're actually kickstarting Volume 4's first issue in a week on June 6th.
All right. And you guys, you're a friend of my friend Gary.
Yeah.
You guys have a podcast, don't you?
Yes.
Anything you want to promote the podcast or pitch it, or your website or wherever people
Sure.
can find
So
you?
my website is keithrfoster.com.
Okay.
It's my name. And then the podcast that I'm a co-host of is called Making Comics. New episodes every Monday, and it's with Scott Lost, a fellow comics creator who does a few books of his own.
Awesome. Thanks, Keith.
Yeah, thank you.
Everyone, I am here with creator Scott Lost. He's got a number of titles that he's going to introduce you to. So, Scott, why don't you talk about some of your comics?
I do a couple of series. The first one is Second Shift. It's minimum wage superheroes. People with normal 9-to-5s like you and I have, they do their normal day jobs, waitresses, a college student. One works at Fish World because I worked at SeaWorld. One works at a comic store, which is cool. Doesn't make a lot of money, but they work those minimum wage jobs, and then at night they are superheroes. So that is the Second Shift. And another title I do is Wanderers of Milisanda. Anthropomorphic dinosaurs versus humans. 1,000 years in the future, we start colonizing other planets and come across the planet Milisanda, where the meteor never hit. So dinosaurs of that world survived and evolved.
Awesome. And where can I find your stuff?
AccidentalAliens.com. You can find those 2 books there, and I also do anthology series with my studio mates, the Accidental Alien Anthologies.
Awesome. Thanks, Scott.
No, thank you. I appreciate it.
Hey everyone, I am here with Johnny as the writer and creator of Dose. John, what is Dose all about?
Dose is all about meta drugs, kaiju sex, and ultraviolence, the only science fiction comic of its kind.
Awesome. And I'm just going to kind of pan through.
Yeah,
You've got
absolutely.
a number of different, I mean, the cover artwork, I had a really hard time deciding which ones to pick because they were all brilliant.
So how we actually ended up doing all these variants was, but let me just correct you, I'm the co-creator of Dose. Sean Ellis, the writer, is the original creator, but we're good friends, and it's a collaborative effort for sure. We could never agree upon what should be on the cover, and of course my ego as an artist was tell him, like, I know better than you. I'm a visual artist. And he's like, no, I'm the writer. I created this thing. So we just decided to start doing 2 covers and make things harder for people to buy. You know, that's all.
That's not a bad problem to have. So thanks, John. I
Yeah,
appreciate
of course, absolutely.
All right.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you like what you saw and you want to see more, hit that subscribe button. Also, you can follow me at Serkworks on social media, and now you can support the work that I do on Patreon. Do you like making comics? Then go to Serkworks.com and pick up the Comic Maker Starter Kit. It's packed full of fonts, brushes, templates, and more. And best of all, it's totally free.